Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced. See no one else to love me like you do. That's why I'm mine. Spend my life with you. I wanna please you in any way I can. I wanna share my world. Don't you understand? Your love is no one in a million. Goes on and on and on. You give all day long. Your love is one in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give me a really good feeling all day long. Turn me inside out, make my heart speak. Need no one else, you're all I need. Personality, everything you do makes me love everything about you. Your smile, your style, so fly. I can't deny, I got a crush on you, that's truly. I'm digging you, you make me believe. Your love is one in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give me a really good.
You're gonna dig this.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at. No cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? We are back again. And just doing the Deion Sanders Coach Prime documentary. Just got finished watching it. If you want to watch the post game, the post show of the documentary is going on YouTube on Barstool Sports currently. I want to give my thoughts, but I really want to hear from you all. Like, what was your thoughts on the documentary? How did you feel about the documentary? What are some things that you liked about it, didn't like about it, all that type of stuff? If you guys want, I can play a little bit in the background of the...
Be who you really want to be. And we're trying to help you be that. But when we see you taking the left and not staying right, we got to check you.
So one of the people that you did have on the documentary, Coach Houston Nutt, who is he to you?
Good man, a great man, a dear friend.
What you're hearing now is the post game of the show.
He's from his tree. Can I say that Coach is from his tree? If it weren't for Houston Nutt, Coach Marcusson would be here. One of a great offensive line coaches that I knew had expertise and could relate to African-American kids as well. And he gave me a great one. And he's exceeded expectations.
Any other people you're going to open up the Rolodex for next season, have talked to this team, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, timing is everything, because a lot of persons that I know that I would like them to get to know the timing of it and them coming, but I want them to embrace it. I hate bringing somebody here and they don't even do their homework on the person, not understanding who this guy is and the effect that he had on the game, and not understanding what you could gain from that. Other colleges bring people in every week. I mean, that's a financial aspect that we certainly can't afford at the level that they do it at. But when we bring someone in, I want them to understand and respect it, that these guys came pretty much on their own dime, and they just want to add, not subtract, but help them multiply, not divide.
Well, speaking of adding, why don't we add another person to this show? Mr. Dana Beers. Maybe he could contextualize it for Barstool. Let's make some noise for Dana Beers here. Dana B was an editor of this show. He shot this show, a production guy, and he really made a lot of this happen.
He did.
Dana, what did you think of the first episode, and what was it like putting together this huge amount of footage?
It's really something. I mean, we started on early January we got here, and I was supposed to shoot for 2 days. I was supposed to catch him.
I can't show it because of the fact of
the first time. Next thing I know, we're
copyright, but I'm gonna let you guys hear it. So see behind it is what we're listening to.
More footage than I've obviously.
There was some bull junk in the crew now. Don't just say it's some bull junk. There was some bull junk in the crew now.
And we made it though.
No, it was some bull junk in the crew. You want me to talk about the bull junk we did when you talk about the bull junk in the crew?
There's always bull junk, Coach. There's always going to be bull junk.
Okay.
But right now we have the crew together.
Yes.
It's a new day.
Yeah.
But it was a long journey to get here.
They had mutiny too, by the way. That's what I'm saying.
Some mutinies going on.
They split that thing down the middle.
So with Dana Beers, we kind of have a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of situation. He would have a mullet sometimes, but then when he's around you, Coach, he'll trim the hair.
He's a better man.
Exactly.
He's a better man.
He's a better man. So what do you see Dana Dane as you call him?
Dana Dane is a guy that has a girth and a wealth of talent that sometimes I don't think he understands how talented he is. He's a thinker as well.
I'm gonna need that clip.
That clip. He's a thinker as well, but the best thing that he did, he started to feel me. Like it started off with doing certain videos, and then he understood that I was always at the heart. Like, give me the heart of that. Give me something that penetrates people. Like, make me feel that. Give me that video, and he understands how that video does more numbers than other videos whenever we touch the heart. So then he started building things off of that. He went through hell and high water, back and forth in the editing bay, going back and forth and being yelled at and screamed at by this team and by that team. And then he had to see me, and he's like, I was there every day with him. I know what he wants. So he got to that point.
Dana, can you tell us what Jackson is like from an outsider who kind of just got dropped here, not knowing that you were going to be here?
Yeah, so I'm a Northeast guy. I've been in Massachusetts, Boston, New York my whole life. So this is quite a different life. It's different. I like it though, because everyone's nicer down here. Everyone has much better manners than up in New York City. I like that part. However, the nightlife for me is there's not much going on, because you know me.
That's good.
The Dana Beers.
That's good though.
I know, but it makes me healthier.
But
I'm working out on
Beers.
Saturdays. I'm working out on Fridays. It's a different life, but I don't know. I'm open to trying new things. It's just, it's a lot different.
What does that mean?
I'm trying. If somebody has somewhere for
Black girls, is that what you're saying?
So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't want to say it right now, but yeah.
Buy tickets or something.
Sorry, guys. I want to hear the quarterback situation. I'm hearing that he said something about the quarterback situation. So
Help these kids get to the next level.
We could have got that aspect of it. No, and they were acting, and it is.
For the inaugural episode of Coach Prime,
I want to hear what
presented
he
by
says about the
Barstool
quarterback
Sports
situation.
and Chevy. We're here at Jackson State Live, and we just saw this episode. Fellas, make some noise for yourself, because that was pretty beautiful right there. That was fantastic right there.
My God, you just changed. We were just having a real conversation. Then the camera came on and you just went off.
I turned it on,
You turned
man.
to a whole different
I turned it on and turned it up, and you know something about that,
True
Coach.
that.
So let's get into it. What did it look like compared to how it felt filming that? What did you think of the first episode?
I got to stop looking at things with a producer's eye, a critical eye. I'm sitting by my lady who's a phenomenal producer. And, you know, we're producing instead of, you know what, let's let it be what it is. It was phenomenal. The production was great. The camera work was phenomenal. The kids, once they got over the fact that there's cameras everywhere. Let me stop putting on for the camera and just be who I am. It was a huge success, and the coaches did a phenomenal job as well. I'm proud of it. I really am.
Did having the cameras around, did it really affect how everybody acted? Does
Early
that
on,
change things?
Yes, because they were putting on, they were acting instead of being themselves. That only happened the first few days or maybe the first week. Then once they got used to the cameras, it was exceptional. I wish we'd have had more freedom to send the cameras to the dorms around campus so we could really see their lifestyle and how they're living and how they're embracing the culture. I wish we could have got that aspect of it.
Because there's a lot of stars of this show, and one of the surprises that we had, Uncle Snoop doing the voiceover there.
First of all, it hadn't been one call ever that I hadn't called a DO double that he had picked up on the first or second ring and said, what's up, baby? Let's do this. What you want to do? What you got? So we're always talking about how to help kids, bless kids, take stuff to another level. We just had a tremendous conversation yesterday, matter of fact, on other projects that we want to do. But he was telling me when he was watching the footage, doing the voiceovers, how it touched him and how it just motivated him. And he can't wait to attend a couple games as well.
That's going to be beautiful. Let's go through a couple points in this episode. First off, before you got to Jackson State, what did you know about this school?
Nothing.
Not a thing?
Not a thing. Not a thing. I did my homework on the inquiring of being the head coach here. So whenever I endeavor into something, so I understood purposely what I was getting into, but God wouldn't let me down either. So I wasn't afraid. But sometimes they don't like the way the truth is packaged, but they're going to get truth. I have a staff full of those.
They can touch. What does it mean to be that person?
Well, we have a staff full of those type of persons. And one thing the kids are going to get is truth. Sometimes they don't like the way the truth is packaged, but they're going to get truth. And oftentimes we're looking out for them down the street that they can't see right there in the moment. It's something that
if anybody has a timestamp on when he talks about Jalen, let me know.
In this path, we know how it's going to end because we are of age and different stages of life than they are. And we wish when we were at that age and stage, we had someone to dispense the truth to us. So oftentimes we're in a protection mode and they don't understand the protection mode that we're giving them.
It's a big responsibility. Another huge responsibility you had is just kind of overhauling this entire facility. How bad was that field? Was it actually?
And oftentimes, especially receivers, that has happened here, and well as women, some of the training staff and so forth, but wasn't good at all. And that's when you talk about balancing, doing a balancing act or leveling the playing field, literally, that's where the Power Fives win. Two things you got to understand when you're talking about bringing a kid to any endeavor, anything in college. The first thing they want to know is where they're going to sleep, where they're going to lay their head. That's got to be straight. And we got to do a better job in that. And what they're going to eat. And we've handled that. So here's what it is. Whatever he did was on camera.
And this is the realness. This is way. Is there any stuff that you're looking forward to the people seeing? Any tough stuff that you had to cut out?
Yeah, like I said, it was more footage than I've ever seen. Probably the most footage that we've ever had at Barstool for any project. So
okay.
I'm going to keep going in season 2.
He's telling me no more Jalen, right?
See, we don't do the behind the scenes.
I'm sorry, fellas. You used to get to see the real me now. So they got a phone call for some bull junk. So the parents are watching. I don't care. We ain't said nothing wrong with what he's done. He didn't do nothing wrong. It is what it is. Whatever he did was on camera. But the best thing that he did, he started to feel me as well.
I'm gonna need that clip.
You get that clip. He's a thinker as well. But the best thing that he did, he started to feel me. He started to feel me. Like it started off with doing certain videos and then he understood that I was always at the heart. Like, give me the heart of that. Give me something that penetrates people. Like, make me feel that. Give me that video. And he understands how that video does more numbers than other videos whenever we touch the heart. So then he started building things off of that. He went through hell and high water back and forth in the editing bay, going back and forth and yelled at and screamed at by this team and by that team. And then he had to see me and he's like, I was there every day with him. I know what he wants. So he got to that point.
Dana, can you tell us what Jackson is like from an outsider who kind of just got
Massachusetts, Boston? I like it, but it makes I don't know. I'm open to trying new things. It's just, I don't know. It's a lot
What
different.
does that
I would
mean?
say. I'm trying. If somebody has some more
Black girls? Is that what you're saying?
So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't want to say it
What
right
does
now,
that
but yeah.
What does that mean?
No.
Yeah.
And how about the editing process for the rest of the way? Is there any stuff that you're looking forward to the people seeing? Any tough stuff that you had to cut out?
Yeah, like I said, it was more footage than I've ever seen. Probably the most footage that we've ever had at Barstool for any project. So
Okay.
I'm gonna keep going
Why?
in season 2.
He's telling me no more Jalen, right? Nah.
See, we don't do the behind the scenes.
I'm sorry, fellas. You used to get to see the real me now. So then I got a phone call for some bull junk. So the parents are watching. I don't care. We ain't said nothing wrong with what he's done. He didn't do nothing wrong. It is what it is. Whatever he did was on camera. If you don't want to see it, don't do it.
100% real. So what we should get into now, the game, Coach.
I like
So
that.
we're going to play a clip, right? So you
Right here.
let's start early on through
Grimes was to get it. And that's what
right condition. It was so
understood the field.
yeah, season 2 turnaround. Is that a good?
Offensively, that's
I think might have been shining out.
right. But
Can we get a first early? Slam just trying to get a storyline.
He was really lame though. He's full jump.
It's Tony.
now that I look on it, now I look back over it, it's a bull jump.
Tell me why it was bull junk, Coach.
Because it was a wonderful thought. It was a wonderful thought. It was a great idea, biblical connotations to it. But I think maybe 2 or 3 of them are gone.
9 disciples now?
Yeah, it's probably 9. But it was a bull jump.
What do you think about them trying to call you Jesus? Like you're the
No,
Jesus
that's
of the
one
situation.
dude. That's one dude on this team that would do something like that, man.
Why was everybody? What was the laughter about in that scenario right there? Why was everybody so delighted?
They know how he get down. The ball here. They know how.
Whether this
But that's true. Much bull jump, and I left in the pond and don't sip of water. Dang, that duck taking a real long. So I say, Shallow, come here, man. I didn't shoot the duck, Dad. I promise you it wasn't me. It was Shador. You know darn well Shador ain't gonna shoot no duck. He laid down on his stomach. He had just got a new pellet gun. Laid down on his stomach like he was in the military or something and shot the darn duck. Anything that happened, I knew which kid it was.
we can refute that. Is that true? Who shot the duck?
I already can't clean. It was me.
All kind of stuff. Shador, I'm not nowhere near him. I was like, dude, I'm looking at you right on camera. That's back in the day we had this house and cameras was all on the side of my bed so I could see the.
Six balls animation.
It was usually after like a long drive.
Yeah.
We went to school all the way.
It was like
We
No.
took
Wire thing, and the episodes will be coming out this.
flush out. You're gonna see, so you're gonna see some real game footage, and they executed well, and they did a wonderful job. But you get to see the tribulations and the trials of what we go through over fam, then put it together.
All right, so all right, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm good. I'm good on the post game. Let's talk about this thing. Okay, so honestly, I'm surprised. I will say this: I'm surprised that Dion was Coach Prime. Coach Prime was as open as he was in the post game about certain things, certain issues. Also, listen, Dion is the perfect marketer, man. And this is like Netflix on steroids because it's not, you have the what's the series on Netflix with the college football? Oh my gosh, that thing is gonna kill me now that I can't remember it. Last Chance U. All right, Last Chance U. It's Last Chance U, but with Dion. So you're literally getting I still want to say a kind of structured view of Jackson State, but it's still kind of raw and raunchy, and that's what you're looking for in a film like this. I don't know what to say. I really don't know how to put my finger on this because of you don't know how. And thank you guys for hitting me up with the answers. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Thank you. So thank you. You don't know how what was kept away, what wasn't being seen. It's those type of moments, especially I did that, and I appreciate y'all. I saw you guys. I appreciate it. I just didn't comment. But no, I definitely appreciate you guys for doing it. And you too, Sean. I saw you as well. And Israel Carey too. Israel Carey too. We appreciate it. I saw you shot me out in that stream as well. So that's my thing with that. You just don't know what's not being said, what's not being shown, and it's one, it's just one. This is one episode, so you're not gonna get everything up in the first episode. But am I gonna watch everything? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Spotlight. I think it was Jalen Jones. I think Jalen Jones was the one that opted out. Absolutely. I'm gonna watch every single episode because it's enticing. It's interesting. It's captivating, and it's with Dion. Listen, Dion is gonna be captivating. Now, listen. Did I like the 12 disciples? No, I did not. I didn't like that. I didn't like. You're adding to the premise of what Ken Clark said on his channel. That's out of the first episode. That's probably the most. That was like, what are we doing? Like that, out of the whole thing, everything else I enjoyed. Other than that, I'm kind of looking like, what? The 6 balls, I just thought that was a great dad story. I'm a dad, is it a little weird? Yes, but it's still, it's their thing. It's their thing. And that's where, I got it for. So I'm not gonna call out on that. I'm not gonna have a stickler on that because that's a dad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you and your sons did and y'all bonded because of it, who am I to complain about that? You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, I don't care. Ken saw the episode early. That's where he got his comments from. I don't care where he got his comments from. I don't care if he saw the episode early. I don't care about none of that. There's no need for it. There's no need for it. 12 disciples. What are we doing? What is we doing? You know what I'm saying? So I don't, that was the only thing of the episode that I was just like, what? Now listen, there was a bar that Dion said early in the show. And he said, people have jobs, but a lot of people don't want to work. And that was a bar because it's certain things. I feel this about HBCU school and HBCU. I feel like it comes down to being okay with the status quo. Like, I really feel that way. I really honestly believe that people are just okay with being okay. And when you have somebody like Dion come in and try to be that agitator, trying to change the narrative, trying to speak on certain things, people have an issue with that. Most of y'all HBCU fans got an issue because I'm telling y'all don't beat nobody. But it's facts. It's true. You don't beat nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I wholeheartedly believe in what Dion is saying. Like, listen, and I said this numerous of times. I've said I can rock with Dion on the marketing, the exposure, the getting the resource and all that type of stuff, and still not like the way he's handled his team or how he's coaching it. Those are mutually exclusive. I rocks with everything Dion does when it comes to marketing, come to exposure, coming to holding people accountable about doing your job, making sure these kids get what they need and stop beating around the bush. I can totally agree with that. But I can also not like how he's coaching, how he got rid of some of the kids. I cannot like that. So that's what I'm saying. And I think a lot of people have a hard time differentiating the two. But I'm gonna make it very clear for you. That's how I see Dion. So stuff like this is Dion's wheelhouse all day, every day. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be top notch, and it's gonna be something that's captivating because once again, it's with Dion. But man, God Almighty, when he said that, I was like, that's a bar. That's a flat out bar. He is spitting facts on that one. And it's just a great show. Listen, it's gonna be something that people are gonna tune in constantly. Let me try to think if there's anything else. about the show. Anybody else has anything about the show they want to get off? You can call in. You can leave in the comments. Let me see. He's supposed to keep players that's not getting it done. Charles, you're funny on one end and then you're just annoying on the other end. Like there's no in between with you, my guy. And once again, I've already told you, you can always call into the channel, but I'm assuming you're working again too. But okay, let me see. Every coach and staff trying to set up a leadership committee of play. You guys are listen, if your girl was cheating on you, you'd be like, you know what? I didn't cook her dinner. You know what? That's on me. I didn't cook her dinner. I should have folded her clothes better. You know what? I should have ironed her panties. You guys make so much excuses for this man. Like for real. All I said was that was the aspect of the show I did not like. You could have called it if you would have called it, okay, if it's just a committee of players and y'all don't care what the name is, he could have called them the KKK. Y'all have been cool with it. You know what I'm saying? He could have called them the Crips. Y'all would have been cool with it. Oh, it's just a committee of people. Oh, he could have called it the Bloods. Y'all would have been cool with it. Like, come on, man. Like, bro, like, stop it. Stop it. You could just call it, you could just call it a players committee. You could simply just call it, hey, you know, these 12 people, I just want to call them a players committee. Like, what? What? That's the stuff that be blowing me. You got to call it the 12 disciples? For what? For why? Okay, and since you don't care, then it's nothing you should. Then why does it matter if it bothers me if you don't care? I said I don't like the name. That doesn't mean you don't have to like the name. I said I don't like the name, but you're making excuses for it. Like I didn't say people don't come up with players committees. I said I didn't like the name. Didn't say nothing about the players committee. Under reading and comprehension is fundamental. Okay, fundamental. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Let me see. That's just like NFL. You have a sponsor when it's time for a new regime, but it's not producing. Oh, shut up. He didn't think it would turn into them calling themselves that. He called it the 12 disciples. The kids were not going to call themselves the 12 disciples. That's not what that was. Shut up, LJ. Like sometimes, bro, like you just got to shut the hell up. That's not, he said, oh, you know why it's the 12 disciples? Because they infect change. They do this, they do that. He initiated that name. He took on that moniker of saying, okay, they're going to be called the 12 disciples. Like, I didn't come up with that. I didn't tell him to come up with that. You didn't tell him to come up with that. He came up with that. So that's on him. If they took it and ran with it and started calling him Jesus, why would they not? They're called the 12 disciples. That is, I mean, like, come on, man. Y'all got to be smarter than the average bear. Once again, overall, the documentary was awesome. I just said I have a problem with the name. He could have called them the Justice League. That would have been cool. He could have called them the Justice League. He could have called them the Table of Righteousness, the 12 of Righteousness. He could have called them the 12 of Change. He could have called them the 12 days before Christmas. He could have called them any other name but the 12 disciples. And then once again, it goes back to the dumb statement Ken Clark said. You're talking about somebody that infected change for souls. Souls for the eternity of your life. Souls. We're not talking about civil rights change. We're not talking about making a difference in a school. We're not talking about protests. You're talking about 12 people that innate change for people's souls to talk about the Messiah of people who would say, come on, what they don't mean to say. That's my point. That's my point. So, Sean Bell, the only reason I'm on this topic is because somebody made the announcement to me. Same thing with you, Jeremy Brooks. Same thing with you, Jeremy Brooks. Somebody named the statement to me. I'm responding. If you don't like it, you can always click off and you can move on. Or you can call into the live show that has a call-in number and you can give me a different subject to talk about and not shut up. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's what it is. Once again, it's not, see, and this is why I have to stick on the topic. It's not a metaphor. That's not the metaphor you're going for. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's like this, right? When you're bringing up a metaphor, this is the stuff. This is the stuff that be killing me. This is the stuff that be killing me. This is the stuff that be killing me. You're saying, let me help you with the definition of a metaphor, because you don't even know what that means. Oh my gosh, bro. All right, metaphor. A figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it's not literally applicable, right? But when you're using the action, you're using the name to dictate the action of the players. Listen to what I'm saying, right? A metaphor would have worked if the actions of the players were not to change the culture. Those are different. The 12 players, their job was to change the culture. So in literal references, it's not a metaphor, it's a simile, because you want the same to happen. You want 12 people to change a culture. That is not a metaphor, it's a simile. Okay? Now, if they were 12 people that were making breakfast, like that's a metaphor. Oh, I'm calling 12 disciples, but they're doing something outside of change. They're doing something away from that. That's a metaphor, okay? A simile is something that's the same. You're asking 12 people to make a change. That's what I'm saying. Okay, cool. Moving on. And also, oh man, it's crazy out here. It's crazy, Mr. Bo. It's crazy. That's what, that's, first of all, Mr. Bozeman, thank you for the comment. And first, he could have called them the Knights of the Round Table. The 12 Knights of the Round Table. 12 dogs go to heaven. That's what I'm saying. The 12 reindeer, all that. Could have any of that. Could have called them anything. Anything, you know what I'm saying? The 12, all that. All right. But back to the main thing. All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is the Knights. All I'm saying is this. Once again, that's just one thing I didn't like. It's not the end of the world. The documentary is absolutely amazing. The production is absolutely amazing. I love seeing Deion talk about the changes that had to be made at Jackson State. Now, a lot of people at Jackson State might not like the fact that he put the school on Front Street like that, of how bad everything was, but you had to see where it was to where it's going. So once again, the mutually exclusive part, if you're breaking it down, you're just coming into it. I always say this about Deion. They're mutually exclusive. I can love Deion for the marketing, the exposure, the recognition, all the things that he's doing. But I can also not like Deion for how he's handled as a coach, how he's been handling the players that were previously there in that regime. They're mutually exclusive, but at the same time, that's who he is. Okay, so you take it as it comes. But overall, guys, I give this at least 4.5 stars. It's awesome. It's an awesome documentary. I know it's just going to get better from here and things like that. Anybody have anything else to say? You can call in 516, the number 259-9041, 516-259-9041. All right. I hope the money was spent. We're spent. I'm late to the party working on fine coach. Dexter Martin is at Barstool Sports on YouTube. Barstool Sports on YouTube. How the team would do. Mr. Charles said I'm an alum and need to be on unacceptable. Hopefully it was pretty dope. Hopefully the other schools will bring in income to fix the facilities. Yeah, I mean, but not all the schools have Deion Sanders. So that's, you might be getting money, but you're not getting money like Deion Sanders is. You know what I'm saying? That's just neither here nor there. Shallow called out Shador. That their relationship is really funny. You know, that's like some true little brother, big brother type stuff. It was actually great to see that, to get a different aspect. Because now listen, can we talk about something real quick? I want to talk about something real quick. Can we talk about this guy real quick? All right, let me take this caller. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Hey, Scotty, what's up, man? It's T Webb, Nashville, man.
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Just got to I watched it also. Thought it was excellent. Just as you stated. But yeah, man. I mean, that bar he put out in terms of a lot of people have jobs.
They don't want to work.
They don't want to work.
Yep.
Man, that's a lot of the culture, man, that exists. You know, that's the kind of culture that I don't know if you remember or not, because I know you probably on the East Coast at the time, or maybe in between your military career or whatever. I don't know if you caught what happened at Grambling about 10 years ago, maybe 11, where
The players protested.
the conditions had gotten so bad to where there was mold in the locker room. Everything was just extremely substandard. And that came, and it's not like the school doesn't have money, but what happens is people come back for the big games. They might come back, okay, a typical regular season game, maybe when they play Alcorn, or their homecoming game, or maybe like in case of Grambling, the Bayou Classic, which is not on campus obviously, but as long as everything looks like it's okay, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A particular tree where maybe a certain group gathered is still there. It looks okay. Certain building that was, a popular building, maybe to congregate around, is still there. No windows broken out. Everything look like it's cool. They go to the alumni dinner. They give their little $500 or $1,000 check or $2,000, whatever they're giving. Everything's cool. There is money, but it's just like what you say a lot of times, man. They're satisfied with the status quo. Okay, and they're not focused on improvements. It's all about putting band-aids on everything.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people get to work, turn on the computer, check your inbox, maybe send a couple of responses out, a couple of memos, dot a couple of I's, cross the T, and they're done for their first half of the day, and they're talking about, hey, where we're gonna go for lunch.
Yeah.
Come back, sit around for another couple of hours. Checking their phone, checking their inbox, cross a couple of T's, dot a couple of I's, and then they're out. And I hate to say that. I'm not saying it's probably like that on some PWIs too. But the bottom line is you got a lot of people who don't want to do their job. There's money, maybe not the money like you will see at some of the higher levels or either higher level FCS programs, but there's money, man. And it's just no structure to it. And a lot of times, and people are satisfied with the status quo. Mm-hmm. They put band-aids on everything. So for him to put that out there, I really like that. But I know the JSU administration did not like that.
But
they can't do nothing about it.
Not even a little bit.
They can't do nothing about it because what he'll tell them in a minute. I mean, look, I'll walk tomorrow. Y'all can have this.
Yeah.
But they don't want to talk about that, though.
They don't.
But hey, man, love your show, man. Keep it up. Talk to you later.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you, Blue, for the 3-star, and he was 45 offensive tackle in the country. Thank you, Blue Bloods. You stay with the facts. Make sure you subscribe to my man's channel. CFL's in here as well. Make sure you go subscribe to CFL's podcast. He's a JSU rider. So anybody JSU, if you're not subscribed to CFL's podcast, you behind. All right, you definitely behind. All right, so listen, I want people to understand one thing. All right, and I'm gonna share my screen real quick. All right, so let me see. All right, let me zoom into this real quick. Jair Carter, right? I hope I'm saying his name right. From Southern, is 6'5", 305. He's 6'5", 305, right? Tony Gray is 6'5", 311. Don't tell me that players in the SWAC do not have players. Don't tell me. Their measurables are the same. And if anything, the only difference is Carter's been more consistent because he's been doing it for like the past 2 or 3 years. All right. So I don't want to hear nobody from JSU talking about, man, our boys are just bigger. Nah, they got 6'5", 311 too. They got 6'5", 305 too. They got 6'3", 6'4", 292. You know what I'm saying? So come on now. Come on now. Like I'm just saying, let's not act, because you guys are real quick to say, I get text messages on my Instagram all the time. Man, Scott, boy, these boys just bigger, man. These boys just big. I mean, man, I ain't never seen no boys this big. I have at Southern. I have at Alabama State. I have. Like, what are we talking about? What is we talking about? So don't hit me with some, oh man, our boys are just bigger. Our boys are just big. I mean, the talent level is just crazy. You got to produce. You got to produce. And I'm not saying Tony hasn't produced. I can read off his stats from USF. Prior to USF, appeared in 4 games as a backup as a right tackle, as a redshirt freshman at Ole Miss. Made first career appearance against Southern Miss. Helped the Rebels get 76 points. Ole Miss, 629 yards, was the 6th most in school history. Remember, they're playing Southern Miss, so make sure you listen to that. Saw action late in the game versus Alabama. Played against Kent. Played against ULM. Helped block Ole Miss. Once again, they're going against ULM. Sat out 27 as a freshman at Ole Miss. Ranked 4-star prospect by ESPN coming out of Grayson High School. Considered the 20th best offensive tackle in the nation. And 23 recruit in Georgia by ESPN. So he's no slouch. All right, no slouch. All I'm saying is I don't want to hear the slogan that people love to say. Man, Scotty, they're just bigger. Man, I don't know what else to do, man. They're just bigger than us. I mean, we're just bigger than them. We got some big boys. All right, cool. If you say so. I'm still wondering why they would just dead ass lie. Let me see. I just joined with we're not arguing, Leon. Tennessee State will have 6'5", 300 for the past 20 years, and guess what? It's all about development. I agree with this 100%, Tony. Agree with this 100%, Tony. I didn't think it was a 5-star either. We would have known. This is getting real serious of JSU's fans, their feelings, because Scotty is speaking. That's all I try to do is speak facts. You already know what it is. All I try to do is speak facts, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is this. And this will be the last thing. And then, tomorrow is orange. Oh, shoot. Today is Sunday. I got to go to work tomorrow. Oh, God. All right. Tomorrow, listen, it's Orange Blossom Classic Week, baby. Orange Blossom Classic Week. Make sure you are tuned in. Make sure you got your notification bells on, because, listen, it's about to get greedy up in here. Do you hear me? It's about to get nasty. All right. We got the Wild Out Wednesday at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. All right. Wild Out Wednesday, straight trash talking. I don't even care who else is playing this week. It's all about the Orange Blossom Classic. You might get a couple predictions from me from somebody else, but probably not. I ain't even gonna hold you. Don't hold your breath. I might not care about no other game but this Orange Blossom Classic. So I'm just letting y'all know that right now. I'll be in Miami. So if you see me, say what's up. What else? I'm about to get up off the stream really quickly because it wasn't that big a deal. Just wanted to recap the documentary. I think it was awesome. Dion's awesome. The marketing is A1. It is what it is. Charlie Moon to Coach Sanders. All them boys are 4 or 5-star. Phil Ross. If you're not betting the season, I'm not betting per game, my guy. If you're not betting the season, if you're not betting like, hey, Jackson State's going to lose 2 games, hey, Jackson State's going to do this, then I'm not about to bet every single game, because I give giveaways every single game, so I'm not doing that. Hey, what's up? Talk to me.
Man, I just wanted to apologize to you.
Apologize to me.
You was dead on. You, man, because you was dead on. You've been calling it for the longest. You said these teams ain't been playing against nobody. They can't beat nobody out of conference. You was exactly right, bro. And, you know, but, you know, as people do, they try to stand behind, you know, the product.
Mm-hmm.
But the product I seen Saturday just wasn't one for hoop. You know, man, if you got a year and a half to prepare your team for one damn game, excuse me, language.
No, you're fine.
And you can't get that done. You produce 14 points. You know, you've been calling this guy, man, and I just ain't been listening. From now on, I'm listening to you.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, because you call it. I've been in this game for many years, and I've had the most highly recruited running back of all times. I've had the guy to win I had the fastest guy in the major league, man. I've had the guy win the gold medal in the Olympics. I've had the damn leading wide receiver in the nation in college football. Man, I went through all of this, but I have never seen a program flop like that. And this you can't be bragging about you got talent, because even if you got talent, then you ain't got coaching. So
it's either one or the other.
Coaching, and then you ain't got talent. It's one of the two, and I think it's a little bit of both when it comes to that. You got a bad coaching and bad talent. Your talent level don't stand up to these other schools. So I've been around here preaching about, man, they should be playing these schools and that schools. You was right, bro. They ain't got no business playing. The D2s can beat them. They just don't have the talent. They don't measure up.
They don't.
And a lot of people don't want to face that fact, but they don't measure up. They don't do it. But, hey, man, I apologize to you because I argue with you about these kids. But, hey, proof is in the pudding.
Yes, sir. Proof is in the pudding. Hey, appreciate the call, my guy. Appreciate the respect.
All right.
I don't understand this dude, LJ. Chill, man. Alcorn will be back. Alabama has lost before. Okay. Hey, Blue, if you still on this live, help me out. Help me out. I just help me out. Would you compare this loss to like Alabama losing to Vanderbilt or Alabama losing to South Carolina University? Like, explain that to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, which level of loss would you? Because this is it kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't, because to me, it's all about how the game was looked at, right? So was the game looked at as a straight, beat down? And like, is there a time you can remember that Alabama was just a clear favorite? Like, not 3 points, not a touchdown. I'm talking about like should not lose, and they lost. That's my kind of thing. That I kind of, because if that's the case, this is a dumbass statement. Because everybody loses. Yeah, all Alabama's lost to Clemson. I would say South Carolina or Ole Miss. Okay. That's respectable, because that's on a bad day. You catch them on a bad day. Things ain't going right. You make a couple plays that I feel you, Blue. Appreciate that, Blue. I kind of feel you on that. If you want to call in and explain a little bit more, I would appreciate it if you did, but I definitely understand what you're saying. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
What's going on? Jay Richardson from Knoxville, Tennessee.
What's up, Jay? What's going on?
I was looking at a documentary, and as far as what I've seen, the one thing that stuck out to me was the turf field that they were talking about. I think they got it sometime this year. I want to say probably about a month or two ago. They finally got it fixed. But the one thing that stuck out to me out of everything was the track surrounding the field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they fixed the turf, and they're working on a grass field, and they're also working on the hill with the sand pit. But that track that's surrounding that field has to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they kept it was because the person that's in charge of the track and field
was against the removal of it. So they were going to remove the track and field and replace it with grass and with bleachers. So when they get ready to have company to come and watch the players or to come to interview the players, they will have somewhere to sit. And there will also be a safety precaution to keep them from, because, you know, sometimes they go off the field and they go to the track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a safety hazard for the players. And what Prime was trying to do was he was trying to replace everything, including that track. He wanted it to be removed. But the people that were in charge of the track and field were against it. So my question to you is this, and this is where you're going to hit the bomb. How can you bring in someone that's supposed to be a conduit for change, but then the people that are in charge of these universities are keeping you from making that change?
Is that a serious question or is it a rhetorical question? Because that seems pretty easy.
Okay. My question to you is this. Ashley Robinson, the person that's in charge, brings you in to be a conduit for change, change the whole facilities, so you can recruit the players that you need to catch the eyes, these 4 and these 5 stars. But the one thing that's keeping you from making the change, or the people that are in charge from keeping you from making these changes, are stopping you from doing what you're supposed to do. In other words, these people that hired you, right, are also the same people that are telling you no. So how is he supposed to be able to bring in these 4 or 5 star recruits when these people that are in charge of these other facilities are halting or keeping hold to tradition to stop you from making the changes that you can need to bring it to an FBS level?
Okay, I think the way you're viewing it through the lens, you're looking at it a little bit. I like to keep stuff very simple. In the military, it's called the KISS method. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So look at it like this, right? If you were let's say if you're trying to, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living?
I used to DJ, but now I just do some photography slash
photography. We'll leave that.
I still do DJing on the side, but for the most part, I work with.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Photography. That's perfect. All right. So let's say you are, let's say ESPN, it brings you in as the director of marketing, right? They're like, hey, we love your work. We love what you do. We love your you know, what you do. You're a freelancer, whatever. We want to bring you in. We want you to be director of marketing. And you're like, okay, I'll take the job. So then when you get the job, you're like, hey, I want to change this. And they say no. And then you're like, but hey, I want to change this. And they say no. And then you're like, hey, but I think this will do better. And they say no. That's you see what I'm saying? That's it. It's part of anything. If somebody's over top of you, if you don't run the establishment, there's always going to be somebody who doesn't have to agree with you. And if they don't agree with you, they just tell you no. You know what I'm saying? It's really just that simple. Now, is it beneficial to the people? Is it beneficial to Jackson State to keep doing that? No, but think about it, right? If you keep giving, and this is the catch-22 with Coach Prime. If I keep giving you everything you want and you keep holding me to the fire for everything you want and you leave, right? You leave me with this bag to hold up. Don't know what that bag might be. You could have put me in a position. You could have put me in a state. Like it's all those. It's so much to do. So it's kind of like this, right? And please, I'm apologize for my vernacular, but it's like this, right? Deion Sanders, Jackson State is a girl, a good-looking girl. She's not the best, but she's cool, right? Everybody likes her. Right. You know, she's not the finest, but she's like with one of the homies. Deion Sanders he the man, right? So he's talking to this girl, and everybody's like, why is Deion talking to this girl? You know what I'm saying? Like, this girl? He talking to this girl? So then the girl starts thinking, why is he talking to me? You know, like, why is he talking to me? So in the back of her mind, she's thinking, okay, do you want to actually be with me, or are you just trying to fuck? You get what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. You know, if we're being honest, are you really trying to be with me, or are you just trying to fuck? So that's what Jackson State is going through the process right now. They don't know if Deion is really in a committed relationship with them, or is he just trying to get a quick nut and dip? That's what it is.
Because Coach Simmons said this. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Coach Simmons. But in order to reach his channel, because he only has like 198 subs, you have to type in Coach Simmons JSU. And you'll see some of his videos where he's talking about the same thing that you're talking about now. But one thing in particular is with these people that are trying to hold on to these traditions, because really what it is, and Neely said it best on the pregame show, they have to stop making it about prom and more so about the students, because these kids aren't caring about traditions, even though that's one of the things that they teach as they, start to mature and as they start to get older. They start to care more about traditions because they start to generate an interest. But as they come in, being foreign to HBCU culture, what happens is that they look at these universities and they start to compare. They start to compare fields to other fields, stadiums, buildings, et cetera, et cetera. And what Deion is trying to do, as you tried to allude earlier when you were talking to Smash Time, you were saying, hey, even though the bands are important, it shouldn't be as important as these football programs, because there's names on the back of these jerseys to where people can get an emotional connection to that is going to draw them back, to these stadiums and pack them out. In other words, most of your money is going to come to these football programs and to these basketball programs that's going to be able to feed the entire university at large.
Facts.
But what Neela was saying on the pregame show was that they need to stop making it about prom. In other words, they need to work with him versus work against him, because these 4 and 5 stars are going to turn your university from an FCS level to FBS level. In other words, these fields and these buildings that he's trying to, because I see exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to turn these universities into Alabama level, to where it's not just a whole outside area. It's a building that's going to cover these fields, right? Even though there's still is, in other words, the grass field and the turf field is going to be all connected, but they don't have enough space. And the reason why they don't have enough space is because the university at large, or these people that are in charge of these, track and field included, are stopping him from making the changes that he would need to connect everything together. So when these 4 or 5 star recruits come in, they can do a similar comparison, because it's not going to take him 5 years and 10 years and 20 years like most folks think he did, because it only took him a year to raise $1 million for the turf field. It's not going to take him. If I were to give an educated guess, I'll probably give him 3 to 5 years, if that.
Okay. All right. Let me
realistic.
Let me slow you down, because you're kind of going off topic, and I'm gonna try to rein you back. I don't agree with the pregame show. You can't say don't make it about Deion and then tell people to work with Deion. No, it is about Deion. The only reason Deion even said he knew nothing about Jackson State. That's another point I wanted to make. Deion even said he didn't know nothing about Jackson State, but when I say it, it's a problem. People don't want to believe me, but Deion made it very clear. Matter of fact, I might clip it and put it on every channel, every video from here on out. He said, I did not know anything about Jackson State until he got the inquiry, until he started doing research about the school. So all these people talking about, oh, our brand is this, our brand is that. No, you got an awesome AD, Ashley Robinson, who reached out and was like, yo, we got an opportunity. Let's go get this man. That's what happened. He didn't care about Jackson State until Jackson State came and got him. I'm going to just make that clear. Second, all right. This is the second part, going back to your point, is that it has to be about Deion until you win. Until you win, it has to be about Deion. He is the only selling factor. All the JSU fans in the comments, listen to me very clear. Deion Sanders is your only selling point, period. All right? Not your facilities, not your city, not your program, not nothing. Deion. Dion is your selling point. So you have to constantly make it about him because he's the lightning rod for everything. Now, until you start winning and winning at a very, very, very high level, that means FBS, FCS, SWAC championships, celebration bowls, then you can kick back on your laurels and be like, hey, we Jackson State. We Jackson State, baby. We Jackson State. You know what I'm saying?
That is 1,000% correct. And I agree with everything you just said because I didn't know anything about a Jackson State, a Grambling, a Southern until Deion Sanders became the head football coach.
Yeah.
So I'll say that to say this. You're exactly correct when you said that they need to make it about Deion Sanders. But what Neely was saying was this. He was trying to explain it like this. What Neely was saying was that with these coaches coming together, because they all had a similar, they all had a conversation before Deion Sanders became the head coach. They knew he was becoming the head coach, but as soon as they found out, there was an immediate conversation. And that conversation went something like this. This guy is going to come into the FCS and he's going to try to change things. In other words, to make a long story short, they feel like he's going to try to turn Jackson State into a PWI, something that's unfamiliar to culture and to what most of the people that are, familiar with the FBS, the FCS programs in these HBCUs. In other words, that's what Neely was saying. He was saying that these coaches, it's a jealousy thing. It's a crabs in a barrel thing. And they feel like he's just going to use Jackson State as basically a prop. He's going to stay his 2 to 3 years or however long, the coach's sons into the NFL. And he's going to use it as leverage to get into either another program or he's going to turn Jackson State into something that's unfamiliar with FBS culture. In other words,
FCS culture.
They have a fear that he's going to turn Jackson State white. And that's the big fear. It's not the fact that he's going to come in and he's going to make changes because he already has. He's done more in less than a year that Jackson State has done in the last 10 years. But they have a feeling that he's just using this as a stepping stool to either get to another major PWI, a Power 5 conference, or he's going to transform Jackson State into something that's unfamiliar.
Okay,
and that's the big fear within the SWAC conference.
This is my thing. How? Listen, I want to be. This is how I know. Like, and it's not a shot to you. It's just the people that are in charge and the powers that be don't really understand like life. Like I don't want to say life, but just they don't understand how this works. It is damn hard to turn an HBCU white. Okay, like you're talking about a legacy of families that have gone through a program. You're talking about generations on generations on generations. You're talking about Jackson, Mississippi being in the hood, smack dab in the hood. Do you think that white kids are going to want to be around an 80 to 90% predominantly black institution? That's a negative, right? I'm not talking about white kids like, who play football, white kids who play sports, or white kids who cool with black people. I'm just talking about just the environment. Just the environment. Like, it's for black people going to a PWI, it's uncomfortable. There's numerous reports and reads and articles. You can talk about people who play sports at PWIs that don't feel comfortable, get called the N-word. Professors look at them different. They talk to them different. Oh, you must be here because, you play sports. Like, stop. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing with this. And then the second thing, a part of this is that you want what white people have. I don't care what you want to talk. Listen, I don't care. You want the white facilities. You want the white campus.
That's
you want that.
Fact.
Everybody wants that. It has nothing to do with color. It's just nice. It's just nice. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I appreciate the call, my guy. I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much. I got a lot of people on hold.
You take care of yourself.
You too, man. All right, sorry about that. You too, though. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hello, Scotty.
What's up, Maut?
I agree with the last caller so much. And you asked the question, how could he change Jackson State. I don't like to use that word, white, but it wouldn't be a historically black college and university. You live in Silver Spring, but you have to be familiar with Columbia Heights and what that used to, or just Washington, D.C. I used to live in Harlem. I don't live in Harlem no more because Deion is kind of like when Bill Clinton opened up an office in Harlem. That's what kind of was the catalyst for gentrification in Harlem, and that's why I don't like Deion, because he's a good father. Obviously, he has an outstanding knowledge base when it pertains to football, but I could see how he could be used as an opening to eradicate HBCUs or change what it is. And it's easy to do, just like with Harlem. You could change the academic requirements. You could increase the tuition. And I said that several times when I called in your show. I told you that I was going to call in the show because I'm a 43-year-old man, a father, and I don't like people disrespecting me. But when I hear certain things, I think people have to understand that, hey, you like Deion, but let's have a wait and see approach. And if I'm Jackson State, I'm like, your job is to coach football, make our football team better. Keep your mouth shut. I didn't like him when he started complaining about items being stolen from his vehicle. Like, that's something where you go to the administration and campus security and you handle that internally.
Hey, Malcolm,
he would have handled that at FSU.
Hey, Malcolm, can I listen? I want to keep you on this line, but I want it to go back and forth. Do you understand? Like, I don't want you going on a ramble for 5 to 10 minutes because I'm gonna lose my point that I want to focus on. Okay, so if you can't have it go back and forth, I'm gonna hang up. I'm just giving you the heads up. I'm gonna ask you a question.
We'll do, no problem.
No, okay, so too easy. So I'm gonna ask you a question. If Deion changes the football program, it's not Deion who's changing the prices, correct? It would be the president of the institution, right? So that's a black man, correct? So you can't say I'm just playing along with your scenario. If the tuition is going up, it's not Deion telling them to up the tuition. It's the administration seeing the opportunity to make more money because they have more notoriety. That is a black man raising the prices. That has nothing to do about being white. That's being greedy. Can we not? Can race and gluttony be two different things? That's two different things.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to understand, it's in Mississippi, so nothing's been fair for a black person in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. I've been in Maryland, and it's more progressive than any place that I've been, as well as New York City. So, and obviously racism occurs there, but it's really an aggressive, overt racism in the South. And so they could use Deion. Oh, they like Deion. As long as that boy can get those interceptions, that's what they think of Deion. And they're going to use him. And all he cared about during his career was money. I remember when he went to the Washington team and he was crap. He got paid very well when he was with the Washington team. Hold on.
So
he'll do anything for money. And he'll mind being used as a tool to get to change things.
Malcolm, I'm gonna hang up. Relax. Hold up. Listen, you're comparing a job that most players only have 4 years to be in, and comparing it to college sports and college I'll say the facilities of colleges and the atmosphere. Now that's two different things. You're talking about a guy who played a sport where you can get cut at any time and not receive your pay, so you have to go get everything you can when you go get it. Like that's how football works. You get all the money you can up front, period. All right. So please do not compare his career of wanting to get money while he's getting physically abused and getting hit and all that type of stuff, putting his body on the line, compared to him trying to be a coach at Jackson State. That's not the same. So let's move on from that. So that's not a comparable thing.
Can I counter?
Go ahead.
Well, obviously, I want every player to get their money. There have been several of my favorite athletes at the twilight of their career. They had to make that. If they were offered big money, they would, So I'm just saying that he's driven by money, and he doesn't. That could compromise the culture of the SWAC. That's my issue.
Hold on.
I can't.
I'm a counter. It's not. You can't say he's driven by, or it's going to mess up the culture of the SWAC, right? If you want to be 100, you guys are begging for finances. You got all I hear on this channel constantly is people saying, we don't have the finances. 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 Go ahead.
And those people, I don't get it, because even though it's 22 years ago since I was a student at Texas Southern University, we always had, has not been, even the private institutions, Fisk University in Nashville, that's a private institution. They always have financial issues. So that's just part of being, that's just a microcosm of the black family. We go through it because we don't have the ability to just create our own jobs. Like, you have to work for someone, you get laid off, everything can shake up in 1 minute. With the pandemic, a lot of black businesses suffer.
Hold on. No. I'm telling you, don't play with me. I'm not in the mood today. I will hang up. My thing is it you're saying right now on this channel that being black is being poor is a combination of being black.
No. I didn't say
yes,
poor.
You are.
I didn't say that. I'm saying
yes, you are. Struggling financially is being black. That's what you're saying about the SWAC right now.
No. I didn't say that. Come on, guys.
That's what you said.
I'm being very. I would never try to make a generalized statement like that. What I'm saying is that as a black person, you can be up one day, lose your job, and it's harder for you to probably find a job than another group. So that's just part of life. You go through ups and downs. There are certain universities like I think Hampton, where their endowment is outstanding. It's better than most PWIs. I think Howard's at that state too. So there are certain places, so there's always black people doing well. But if you take the larger collective, then we're not really where we've been through financial hardships, and there's nothing wrong with. Hello?
Yeah, no, your phone cut out. Your phone cut out. This is my thing, Malcolm, and
my apologies.
No, you're fine.
But I was just stating. I was just stating that the larger collective, everyone knows the income wealth gap of black people compared to white people. So that's why I say it's a microcosm of black people. I'm not talking about the upper 10% of black people. I'm talking about the majority. We go through ups and downs. It's not about being poor. And guess what? If we're poor, look at the history. So that explains it all. So it's not like we have it easy. We're the targeted group that faces more challenges than any other group in this country. That's the facts.
All right,
so
let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna have to let you go. What would you, for a perfect world for Malcolm, what does Deion Sanders have to do? A perfect world for Malcolm. Just answer the question. I'm gonna let you go. Perfect world for Malcolm. What does Deion Sanders have to do?
In a perfect world, FSU would hire him, and I don't have to see his face again.
So you don't want him in the SWAC.
I want him gone.
Okay.
I want him to go where his heart belongs.
Okay. Appreciate the call, Malcolm.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Let me be very clear with you guys. Right. And I want to get to this comment right here. Jeremiah Clark, is this a socioeconomic radio talk show? Get this call off the phone. Listen, this is how people grow. All right. If you can't listen to people's opposing views, you will never know what's wrong with yours. This is an idiot statement. It's an asinine statement. This is why people can't agree in politics. This is why people can't agree in life. If you're not able to sit down and hear somebody, I don't have to agree with him. I don't have to embarrass him. He can make a statement. I can listen and I respond. I do the same thing for everybody else on this channel. I don't care if it's about sports, life, your kids, your mama, your daddy. It's called off script. It's not called off sports talk. Where that's not what this show is called. It's called Off Script. I have ADs call in talking about tuition. I've had fans call in talking about APRs. I thought it was car interest. I want to learn. I like to hear opposing opinions. If you do not, get the hell off the channel. I do not care for your view. It is if you're not for it, I don't care. Okay? It's about learning from one another, understanding people's different precision. I absolutely love when Malcolm calls in. It's a headache. Yes, my girl tells me all the time he needs a timer. But I love Malcolm because he enunciates, he believes in his opinion. He lets me speak, I let him speak, and we can agree to disagree. That's it. That's it. So if you came with viewers and they've told me I've done something wrong and they've called in, or I told them, hey, I was going through this mental problem, or I felt this way, and I've had people call in and say, hey, Scotty, you better than that. This channel is an open dialogue. That's why it's called a call-in show, all right? So if you can't get with it, get lost, period. Hey, what's up, Conscious? Talk to me.
What's good, bro?
What's good, man? Talk to me.
Man, I got a headache. I got a headache after listening to Malcolm. And I'm trying to understand the argument, but I think he said it. I think he said what his true feelings were at the end when he just said, basically. And I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say this exactly, but I think his emotion said it. I hate Deion. I don't like him. I want him out the conference.
Facts.
And to Malcolm's, I guess, to counter his argument, I would say this. We have asked for visibility and the opportunity to grow our universities and to start back, at least attempting to reclaim what we considered glory during the early 60s and 70s. And what we've been doing since the 90s hasn't been working for us.
Facts.
It just hasn't. And that means that we have to try something different. So Jackson State tried something different. And the response that we got once we tried something different was positive. Can we agree with that?
I totally 100% agree with you, Conscious.
All right. But now that we had a positive response to being progressive, now people say, oh, I don't like it. Oh, it don't make sense. Oh, this is not good for us. So are we saying what was good for us that occurred during the 90s, the early 90s and 2000s, was that good? We've established a level of mediocrity in the conference overall and at our universities. And I'm not going to put this blame entirely on the universities. I can't, because I know too much history about what has occurred in most of the SWAC schools and MEAC schools and HBCUs in general to put us in this position. But somebody was talking about, is this going to be a socioeconomic conversation? I think every type of argument and an event that occurs in our society has a socioeconomic slant to it. Because at the end of the day, it all points back to money, right?
Yeah. You're trying to get more of it. Trying to get more of it.
Yeah. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it points back to. It all points back to money. So people, everything that we're going through right now, this argument that we're having, the visibility that we are asking, all of it points back to money. So I guess my argument with Malcolm is, would he have us die in the wilderness?
Just to stand on your ground that we're a HBCU. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's correct.
Yeah.
Do we perish? Do we perish for the sake of, because we don't want the attention and the notoriety that Deion comes with, the quote unquote perceived baggage? Do we not want that because we are HBCU? Come on, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we had to do something different. And I'm happy we did something different, because now that we've done something different, other institutions and universities are also going to do the same thing. And they may not admit to it right now, but I guarantee you their board members and university executives are in the boardrooms probably right now on conference calls, or probably on tomorrow, trying to figure out a way to navigate around this and to figure out how they're going to push their universities from a marketing and standpoint up front.
Yeah.
And if you're not,
you're going to fail. If you're not in those meetings right now, black schools, we're going to fail.
You know what? It's crazy to me though, Conscious. And before I let you go, when white people do it, it's called integration, and they win for it. They get everything they want from it. They change, they grow, they get profits. Nobody has a problem with that. But it's like we're supposed, like HBCU schools are just supposed to sit on their laurels. Hey, we've been doing this for 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years. You know, we're still surviving, but you know, it's okay. No, like you have to change with times or you're going to be blockbuster. It's just facts. Like life comes. You got you innovate or you die. Simple.
That's correct.
Simple.
That's correct. I mean, I look at it this way. I look at the early 70s and 80s at Jackson State program compared to where we are now. And I was telling one of my homeboys that we could learn something from what the PWCs did previously when they started attracting athletes to come to their universities.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that we can learn is that they did a brilliant job marketing and branding our people. They gave them the exposure and they marketed and branded the hell out of it. And we failed at that. Sure, we got people in the stands, but we missed the marketing angle.
Mm-hmm.
We missed it horribly.
Yeah.
And now this is our chance to really even the playing field by one, creating exposure, and two, marketing and branding the university and the football team as a whole to bring the eyes and attention to these players.
Absolutely. Appreciate the call.
We can't sit back and allow the powers that be from the Power 5 institutions and everyone else to continue to dictate the terms on how we survive.
That's real.
That can no longer be our ideology anymore. We have to take the bull by the reins, and we're going to control this thing and create the narrative the way we want to survive. And that's it.
Hey, appreciate the call, Conscious.
No doubt, bro.
Hey, listen, I also want to make this statement real quick, and Mr. Bozeman just touched on it, and I wanted to say it. I'm not dismissing the legal aspect of this. I'm not dismissing having white people in power and not giving funding to black schools and all. I'm not dismissing that fact, right? But I'm saying as the reins have been loosened from white people and the reins have been loosened for government institutions, and we're slowly getting that power back, you know, not fully, not enough to say, hey, we're good. But now as you get back, now you have to push out. You gotta make it work for you. You know what I'm saying? As you gotta make it work for you. All right. Ooh, I got a lot, man. This is a hot topic. I got a lot of people want to call. Please stay. Hey, get your point out quickly. All right. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 7 people on the call. Get your point out. We can have a quick dialogue and we're going to move on. All right. But I promise you, I'm going to get to everybody. I promise you. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, this is your boy Jeff calling in for Germany.
What's up, Jay?
Had to get in there on this call here. Things happen for a reason. And the fact that Coach Dion is at an HBCU at this time, it happened for a reason. Folks don't need to realize and understand. High school students, especially African American high school students, when they graduate, they have options. This is not the 1960s where they're relegated to going to an HBCU university. They have options.
Mm-hmm.
I want folks to, everybody that's listening, I want them to push in the game Saturday night, the MEAC SWAC Challenge was held at Georgia State University. I want everybody to go push in Georgia State University demographics. Georgia State University has an enrollment of 52,000. You know who the largest ethnic group going to Georgia State University is?
White people?
It's African American.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Georgia State was a predominantly white university. And in order for them to grow, they had to accept the African American students. So much so that they're cool with them being the largest ethnic group on their university. At the rate the African Americans are growing at Georgia State, they're going to become the largest ethnic group. over 50% at this rate. I'm saying this to say that African American students have choices. When an African American student, high school student, visits a HBCU campus, they're also visiting other campuses. Georgia State is not the only one. Look at, I want everybody to punch, when they get a chance, punch in Shawan University and punch in Shawan University demographics. Shawan was a predominantly white institution. They now play in the CIAA. Shawan has a demographic now, today, of 66% Black. Why are these African American students going to these institutions? One, these institutions went out and heavily recruited them, asked for them to come there. And when our students go to these universities, they see what they have to offer and like it. Our HBCUs need to be mindful that they are not the only thing on the shelf when it comes to our African American high school students. They got to get out of this mind thinking that, hey, this is how we did it, or this is how we always did it. If you want to get continue to attract students, period, you got to get with the program. And the fact that Deion Sanders has come to an HBCU, saw things that need to be changed, pointed them out, and it's making change happen. This happened for a reason. And I hope this will be a wake-up call for all the HBCUs. Demanding excellence doesn't mean you're trying to be white. It means you're just trying to do the things the right way.
Thank you. I appreciate the call, Mr. Jeff. Man, thank you. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me. Caller 2269, you live. Talk to me.
Okay, so I just wanted to make 3 points, right?
What's your name?
Luther.
You said Luther?
So I'm underneath the handle of Best President tape. I want to make 3 points. One, HBCUs, can we actually get to the level of the P5? Is that a real outlook?
It's not even.
And then
go ahead.
Hello?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the second thing was, as far as the recruiting, the gentleman that went before me had a good point. Recruiting outside of just the comfort zone. So I think we should recruit the top athletes, period. Of course, that's going to be primarily Black, but I think they should do a job of recruiting the top athletes, period, and making a case for them. Now, that does start with the facilities. Because I played for Temple. I started at Grambling, but I played for Temple. I transferred.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest difference is funding that they get from the top corporations, sponsorships, and all that stuff, cafeterias and stuff like that. That's all athletes care about, is visibility and the things that you can produce from them. So that was the 3 things I said. Do we actually think that we can actually get to the level of P5? To me, that's what I would want.
It's not that though. It's that. See, that's people are so enamored with that's not what it's about, because it's, you just want your facilities to be nice. You know, like it doesn't. Right. You know, I'm not asking you to have a jacuzzi. And I'm not asking for that. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, okay. You know what I'm saying? You just want something that is decent, something that is like, bro, like this is nice. You know, when you see it, decent, right. You just want something to say, yo, this is dope. Like, oh, okay, you know, it's not as big as Mizzou, but it's dope. I like it. I like the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because what Jackson State is selling is not the facilities. It's selling the school. It's selling the campus. You want people to feel, the culture, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if you have great football and you have great athletics and people aren't just caring about the band, they actually care about the actual game, then you will feel more comfortable going there. Now, I have made this known from Jump Street. I think more Black celebrities should adopt HBCU schools. Yes. That's just, I don't understand why they don't. Like, don't get me wrong, because the U players, they love giving back to the U. Ryan Clark stay shouting out LSU. Marcus Spears stay shouting out LSU. They don't care. Odell Beckham, they don't care nothing about them boys once they leave. Like,
once you leave, they don't care about you.
They don't care about you because they just waiting for the next Black dude to come in and bring us a championship. You know what I'm saying? So
can I just make one last point on what
ahead.
you're saying? You put up a good point with these big schools. Once you graduate, like my thing is, once you graduate, if you're not, like you said, most people is 2 to 3 years if you can get that. So most of these guys, they forget about your money and moving on to the next guy. So it doesn't even make sense to give your loyalty to them because they won't give you a job. It's not like they don't care about your career and you supporting your family. It's just marketability. So that's why I said, I know what you're saying is correct. It's just about being decent. But my thing is, even with just outside of football and labor, why should we not strive to be the top? Gentrify ourselves. Like I love improvement. So what Deion's doing is correct. Somebody said he's using his name as leveraging, but at some point, the recruit, I'm just surprised by the recruits he's getting. It's going to be on a level where, like somebody else said, they're going to start scheming against it because you've taken money out of their pot. That was just my final point.
And your name is Luther, right? That's what you said?
No, Musa, M-U-S-A.
Oh, Musa. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm underneath the handle of S-Class Entertainment account.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, and this is my thing when it comes. I see people, even the programs in the SWAC have to understand that Deion is great, right? Because if you get a kid, let's say a kid is debating between going to the SWAC and another conference. Well, if you just saw the SWAC on like 7 primetime games playing people like, let's say Alabama, if Alabama AM is recruiting you and you know they playing Jackson State this year, you know you gonna be on television. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little things like that help everybody else out as well. So, you know, schools can, and it's funny, the schools that are outside of Jackson State, they don't hate on Jackson State because they got Deion. They hate on them because, like, bro, y'all haven't done nothing. That's the only, I mean, they're not hating, but they're just making the fact to say y'all haven't done nothing. But it really, no, they're not jealous. No, they're not jealous.
You don't think so because of visibility? No. I mean, I went to Grambling and I still root for Grambling, of course, but I just appreciate what they did because I've been in a program where you see it's like, yo, I understand the tradition, but come on, that's a power move. Deion is I would have transferred schools because of Deion, the greatest defensive back to ever play the game. So it's a beautiful thing.
Listen, I'm not saying fans might hate, but I think the coaches and the teams, like the actual, they want to beat Deion because why? That gives me more notoriety.
Right.
Because if you're supposed to have the best, if you have the #1 roster in FCS, we're not supposed to lose to you. I mean, you're not supposed to lose to us.
That's also good too, because then it gives notoriety to some guys that may have never got that shot to get those from those scouts.
Exactly. So it all works and it all works together if you play it right. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. But hey, Musa, appreciate the call, my guy. And anytime.
Thanks, man.
Nah, appreciate it.
Okay.
Play it right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, turn your background down. And anytime, man. Appreciate it. 8597, turn your background down. You live. Bring your background down. 8597, turn your background down.
So what's up, bro? My name is Rob, man. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
Talk to me.
And I think what Deion is doing for HBCUs as a whole is for one, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
True.
So like, you know, with Deion bringing that, you know, that national stage, he's basically trying to build the HBCUs up to a pedestal. And with, you know, some of these other schools having big names, for example, Tennessee State hired Eddie George, right?
Yeah.
So with Tennessee State hired Eddie George, okay, so now you're creating an example. Now and I'm sorry, I know I'm kind of random. If I was a DB playing HBC, I would transfer to fucking Jackson State to play. I'm sorry for my language. Transfer to Jackson State to play on the Deion. One of the greatest ever. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's, you know, bringing the publicity to the school, and you know, it's a wonderful thing, bro.
No, and I agree with you. I do agree with you. This is the only thing with the Deion Sanders thing is you want to see the fruition of, you want to see the, what's the word, like the culmination of all the effort, right? So if he puts all this effort in play, nobody from Jackson State gets drafted. It's like, to me, you kind of go back into like, dang, like, what are we doing this for? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of players are gonna be like, yo, like, I came here to go pro. I'm still not going pro. You know what I'm saying? Do I need to go to a Power 5? Do I need to go FBS just to get looked at? That's the only thing. I'm hoping that changes the most. But everything else, I think Deion is doing well.
Exactly. You 100% correct. And with Jackson State having, the SWAC having this spring season, being the spotlight, being the prime time of football for that little point of time. Okay, well, I believe that it got a couple of eyes on the people in the SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With them being, with the only game on for, this weekend, the SWAC, HBCU football being the only game going in the spring, man, of course, you got the the LCS, you had the South Dakota State and everything like that. But still, though, getting ESPN primetime, not having to compete with the SEC, the ACC, even the Conference USA, what used to be the Conference USA, the American Conference right now. Like, it's just, it's a good thing to see.
Yeah.
And, of course, you're getting these people that playing on TV. Of course, somebody's going to know some, bro.
Facts.
Just coming off logistics.
Yeah. Hey, but appreciate the call, my guy.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro.
No, anytime. Okay, I got another one. Hey, let me answer. I'm gonna get to this comment real quick. Big schools didn't want Deion to be bigger than the school. I disagree with that. I think schools didn't know what kind of coach he would be. I think if Deion gets some coaching, if he stays at Jackson State for 2 or 3 years and gets a SWAC championship, 2 SWAC championships, no SWAC championship, but he gets some coaching underneath his belt, I think a Power 5 would definitely take him because of the fact of they know off the rip that Deion's recruiting is going to be stupid. Deion's recruiting is going to be stupid. So I don't really agree with this premise, but I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with it. All right, let's get to the callers. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
Yeah, what's going on, my brother, man? My name's D, man. I'm calling from down in Florida, man. I just want to top it on that about Coach Prime. And like I say, with HBCUs, man, I really like the movement that's going on at HBCUs. Just to get top back on about the Power 5. I just want people to understand you don't necessarily get drafted just because you go to Power 5. Yeah, you have a great chance of going to a draft, but it's a lot of guys that went to University of Alabama's and the Tennessees, and guys didn't get picked up.
That's facts.
It's just if you just got that dog in you, these guys are gonna find you. You see what I'm saying? And your character, it leads you in the right way. So I mean, people sit here keep trying to, like I say, downplay HBCUs. We understand it's some Division I schools you go to, man, and they look worse than some HBCU facilities. And people don't understand it.
That's facts. No, and that's a great point. Some of that, I mean, I had a scout come on here and talk about it. Some of that time, when you going against, he said, when you going against Kentucky, Vanderbilt, you going against SEC level talent, you kind of understand what that process looks like and what they're going against. So they just get more looks. You know what I'm saying? They because of the competition level they're going against consistently. But I do agree with you. If you are that dog, if you are that guy, you can make it. But it's just, it's tough. But if you're special, you special.
And that's absolutely correct, man. And I just look at it, man, because I used to coach high school football, and like I say, and there's guys that I've went to major Division I schools now, and they was what they call this label the 4 or 5 star scenarios, and I think I look at it like this here. Back in the days, it wasn't all about the 4 or 5 stars. It's about, can you play football? Can you come in here and get the job done for us? And universities, and what universities are doing, they're putting pressure on these coaches because of these sites of rating these kids. And now if they don't get certain amount of 4 or 5 stars, they're not getting bonuses. Yeah. So that's why these people get caught into the 4 or 5 star or the 3 star, whatever the case may be. It's just like I say, man, it's about your character, it's how you handle yourself, as a young man, young lady, and in Division I AA, you can only get 63 scholarships for Division I AA. It's 36 in Division II. You see what I'm saying? And then it's 85 in Division I. And it's just people don't know the number game of this thing, man. You know, understand the business of how it operates.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate the call, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me. 7147.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's good?
The Spectrum. Been talking about Austin.
What's your name?
Jahari from Austin.
Okay, talk to me.
My biggest thing with everybody talking about, you know, Deion trying to make everything white and whatnot. I don't think that's true because he just did a video a few days back where Shiloh and I think Tony Gray came in and they were talking about how they were loving the HBCU experience. And Deion was asking them how it was different, and they just had like the joy in their face. And I think that's what HBCU need to put out, like show the culture, basically show what they can provide that these PWIs cannot provide. And that's just culture.
At some point, right? But that's not okay. Let me try to get my point together. Is that going to be effective for everybody? No. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to recruit athletes, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? It might work for some athletes, it might not work for some athletes. You know what I'm saying? Should they do more of it? Yes. Should they promote? You're absolutely right. I just feel as though I'm getting tired of people saying that getting money or changing the HBCU is making it white. That is really getting annoying to me because why are you putting this stigma on white thing? Like everything, like if something looks good, if something's straightened up, if something's buttoned up together, it's white. You know, like you're trying to make it white. You know, even if you speak, like when I was growing up, even if I spoke correctly, like they'll be like, why are you trying to talk white? Like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly how you feel.
Like speak correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I as black people, I feel like we have to get away from that narrative of, you know, progress in something different than what you've been used to is white. Like that right there is a shame. Because if you're just talking about you don't like how Deion is moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. But to keep referring it back to race, it's so irritating because like when I tell them like they haven't played nobody or they need to play FCS out of conference, they're like, oh, you think, they need to play white teams to be relevant? No, you need to play a football team outside your conference and win. I don't care if it's white.
Exactly.
If it was black and out your conference, you need to play them. You know what I'm saying? You just need that. So it's irritating. It's annoying, but it is what it is.
But I mean, I also think that, you know, HBCUs used to be playing people outside the conference so they can travel to different places, and other black kids from different states who might not even have HBCU or that many can say, hey, this is an option. Like, you get to see them on TV, you get to see them in different states. And also, a lot of these big recruits, they don't want to just play in the South all the time. They want to be able to travel. And like we all know, we only have the Celebration Bowl versus if you go to, I don't know, a bigger FCS, you get to travel around the country a little bit.
Yeah, because they can't. They can't, you know, pay. They don't want to pay those big sums of money traveling the whole team and, you know, packing up because they're already strapped tight on budget already. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't help that they have to go pack this up and do this and do that. That's why they try to keep it as close as possible when they're playing these out of conference games. So that's understandable. But at the end of the day, to be relevant, I don't want to say to be relevant because all SWAC people are going to be like, we're relevant. To be in consideration as a top team in FCS, you have to beat other people than just people in your conference.
That's true. And that's all I wanted to say, man.
Hey, appreciate the call, my guy. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hello, Scotty.
What's up, Malcolm?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Malcolm. Make your point.
I hope
your point.
I didn't. There's a difference between imperialism and integration. Gentrification is a subset of imperialism. Integration was so that Black people could have the opportunity to get educated. So a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, well, we should," and one guy made a statement, and I guess he thought he was smart. He said, "Oh, well, there's PWIs where there's a 60% Black demographic." Well, guess what? Who still owns the institution? Who still? So the person who has, and even at HBCUs, we don't really own it. It's still run by the state. So it's like people really need to think logically when they make a statement, and because they don't realize Jackson State they could change the name years from now, especially with all this talk about critical race theory. They're really trying to eradicate the history of Black people. That's something that's on the news. And one of the things they've been trying to get rid of is HBCUs. They're trying to make it all one system, like Texas Southern, that could be part of the UT system. They're bringing, my school has a large Hispanic population. I don't have no problems with that. But the point is, what the institution, what it originated for, it's going to be gone. And it's not going to create the opportunities for Black people. Those are the most affordable institutions that are accredited are HBCU, well, actually SWAC schools. So instead of people complaining about, well, we don't have this, I don't give a damn if you have a football field. Do we have a STEM program in our school? Most SWAC schools now have a STEM program. That's what's helping our students. None of the football players are going to contribute as much as the alumni. Now, obviously,
let me ask you a question.
My 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, depending on how I'm doing that year, obviously there has to be other people with me where it starts to accumulate.
Let me ask you a question.
But still,
let me ask you
why are we placing the emphasis on football?
Let me ask you a question. How much money does that STEM program bring in compared to football? How much money? And we can even talk about your band. We can even talk about your band if you want to take it there. The band athletics. Listen. Athletics and most institutions, football being the primary one, bring in the most money into the program. It might be the most money coming out, but most schools in the SWAC are like even. I read that somewhere. They're like in the black or even or whatever. So if Dion brings in sponsorship, if Dion brings in marketing, if Dion brings in eyes, if Dion brings in funding, that helps you get more money to do more things at your facilities. Yes or no? At your institution. Yes or no?
Because they're professors, they're faculty members, they're trying to get grants in order to have the STEM program.
Sir, you're not answering my question, Malcolm. If you bring in more money, does that answer my question? Answer my question.
No, because that's not a fair question. You always asking me questions when you don't ask these.
How is it not?
My last comment, and this will be it. It's just like Harlem. If Harlem used to be predominantly Black, nobody wants to go over there.
How you gonna come on my channel? How you gonna come on my channel and tell me I can't ask you questions? How can you come on my channel spilling whatever you're talking about, and I ask you a question? How does it not give you more money in your institution? You can't answer that question, and then you want to talk about it's like Harlem. Miss me with that. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
What's going on, Oscar? This David, bro. Hey, Malcolm, he just kind of upset me right there, because you're basically talking about we're talking about football. That's what your channel is all about. It's about football, and it's about raising awareness for HBCU, but mainly it's about football. Now, Dion coming to Jackson State, coming into the SWAC is a big plus for the whole conference, because not only is he getting the recognition, but he's making all the calls, all the trying to get this resource, that resource, not just for Jackson State, but he's trying to do it for all HBCUs. He's trying to do it for all schools in the SWAC. You know, he didn't have to get on the phone and call Coach Dancy over at Valley to say, "Hey, what do we
What I
need
told
to
you,
do in order for
what I
you
told you, the
to
three
get-"
tools are.
My bad. Go ahead.
Okay, like what do I need to do to get you these resources at your school to make sure that you're on the same level, you know, same playing field as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to try 10 times harder to even be, competitive in this league. So, okay, and it's irritating because I listen to your show, bro. I watch your show all the time, and when Malcolm gets on there, he goes on a rant, and he's ducking and dodging about the question. The whole question is about football. It's about football.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to get our conference back in relevancy on football?
That's facts. That's facts.
It's not a hard question to ask. You know what I'm saying? And every time, you bring up Dion, it's kind of like Pavlov's. You ever heard of Pavlov's dog? And basically, when you say something or do something, that the dog, it picks his ear or wags his tail or something like that, it has a reaction to it. And so every time you talk about Dion, bro, he has it's like Pavlov's dog. He has a reaction to it. Like he's not going to dance. He's dancing around that question because my whole thing, he doesn't like that man. Okay, you don't like him.
Yeah, that's
cool.
personal.
That's cool. That's your opinion. That's your prerogative. But this man is doing everything that he can to help out, trying to get the resources and the amenities to our conference. Because we've been lagging for the last 20-something years, bro. I don't care what anybody, any SWAC person, they could say I ain't got no SWAC out, bullshit. I don't give a damn. We haven't had that. We haven't had these type of facilities and stuff like that in a long time, and it's about time that we need it.
Facts, big facts. Now let me say this. Let me say this before I let you go. Right, this is my thing with what you're saying. I just wish that when I talk to Malcolm, I wish he could differentiate. Well, let me. He sounds like somebody that was bullied by an athlete. That's what he sounds like. He sounds like somebody that was bullied by an athlete, and he has a disdain for athletics. That's just straight up. That's what he sounds like. Because then when you start breaking down most schools' funding, it comes through athletics. Like most of the schools' funding, if it's not from state, it comes from athletics. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I could tell, like I said, I went to, the other day he called, he said we went to Texas Southern like 20-some years ago. I went to Jackson State in 1997. That was 24 years ago, bro. Mm-hmm. We were known for winning. All right. Don't get me wrong. We were known for winning. We got off the track the last 10, 12 years, but we was known for winning when I was in school. Every dime that we had as far as going football and basketball, it came from the athletics. You know what I'm saying? To me, and plus from the state. But most of it came from athletics.
Mm-hmm.
That Walter Payton Recreation Center came from athletics. That College of Liberal Arts building came from athletics. The new transitional dorm at the time came from athletics. Most of the stuff that we had when I was in school at that time came from athletics. You can get with the state, but most of that stuff came with, it came through athletics. At that time, we were a money maker. We lost our way. For some way, somehow. And now I'm glad that Dion is at my alma and is trying to make a difference and get us back on the right track.
Facts.
But you have a good night, bro. I pray for everybody in Louisiana and Mississippi and my family in Mississippi and everything. Y'all stay up. You know what I'm saying? Be safe.
I appreciate you, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, Alan? You live?
Hello?
Yeah, you live.
Hey, this is DeAndre. I'm calling from North Carolina.
Oh, what's up, DeAndre? My bad.
You good? Auntie kind of went through the same thing when we transferred to the Big South, and a lot of people have problems. But football pays for a lot of things, and as you win, you'll get more notoriety, and football's gonna pay for a lot of things. I give my hats off to Ashley Robinson because he's a progressive young AD. The one thing Deion does is bring a light, but also it brings the positives and the negatives because it puts pressure on everybody else. So you got all these ADs, maybe 60, 70, who they want progress, but progress their way.
Yes, I agree.
They want to, if this was another coach who kind of worked his way up and was able to get, but some things, you need somebody from the outside. He went to Florida State, but he was always at FAMU, so it ain't like you don't know what goes on. So I think that's what it is. I believe it's going to put the pressure on the ADs, which is going to put the pressure on the coaches. Because if he wins, and we all know Deion has probably never lost at anything, which is very few humans could say that. If he wins the way people think he's going to win, it's going to put pressure on ADs to be like, okay, you need to get out your box. And it's going to put pressure on coaches to be like, okay, if you lived in Alabama, you need to recruit outside of Alabama. Take your butt to Florida, take your butt to Arizona. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to put pressure on everybody, and Deion's going to do that. So football plays for a lot of things. Obviously, when you're different, everybody don't like it. I think also they're cool with Deion being the face. Most of the in the SWAC, most of the ADs are the face.
That's true.
They want to be the face. Alabama is the face of Alabama. You couldn't pick out the AD of Alabama if he offered you $1 million.
That's 100%. You're absolutely. And it's funny you're saying that. I had a whole conversation with a subscriber that said that. They said that's the biggest difference between either top level FCS schools and even top level FBS schools. That the AD is just a face, and the coaches are usually the figureheads.
And the thing is, Auntie has a white AD. People don't know that. We got a white AD who's very much progressive, and you wouldn't know that unless you're alum like I am and went there. But to me, that was the when Southern was talking about the thing with Marshall Faulk, I heard people saying that was the big thing. They didn't want to give Marshall Faulk the keys to let him make changes the way he feels like it. So I believe it's gonna come down on the ADs, which is gonna come down on the coaches. So it's gonna be interesting because if he wins, because it's gonna come down to wins and losses.
That's it.
If he wins, that league. And I'm interested to see. People say you want to win, but do you want to win at all costs, or do you just want to win your way? Ashley Robinson, took a gamble that they probably can't afford him. Let's be frank, but hey, he took a gamble and won. Let's see what happens on the field. But if he wins, it's going to force everybody else
step that game
to really evaluate. Exactly. So I think that's what they're afraid of. I don't think nobody will admit it. I believe because they see what's, the one thing that I'll use a weather analogy. Usually there's a warning before a tornado. You don't just wake up and be like, oh, we got a tornado. There's usually a warning before a tornado or some big type of storm. So if that storm comes, hey, it's gonna transpire and it's gonna filter down to everybody else. So good conversation. Like I said, A&T went through the same thing when we left the MEAC. Everybody thought, we was gonna not be a HBCU. A&T been building most stuff on campus. because of winning. First of all, because winning pays for a lot of stuff. And when you win and you get notoriety, people just write you checks.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. So, but it's a good conversation and everything. Appreciate it.
No, appreciate your dialogue, man. Thank you so much for your intake. Appreciate it.
And
hey, caller, you live.
Hey, how you doing, man? Can you hear me?
No. What's your name?
Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Wiggum, man.
Talk to me.
What's up with you, Scott? I just, you know, I've been seeing a lot of people compare, you know, Jackson State to Alabama and all of this stuff like this. Let me tell you, I think as a whole, all black people, not just black people that went to HBCUs, but you know, just black people in general, man, we need to really get behind these HBCUs and, you know, help them get the facilities that they need to get. But the University of Alabama actually has a bigger black enrollment than any HBCU period when it comes to enrollment. Okay. It's like 9 to 10,000 black people that attend the University of Alabama. So you know, I attended the University of Mississippi.
Hold on, time out.
Hello?
Hold on. Are you comparing a school that's enrollment is like 3 to 4 times bigger than Jackson State? Of course, they're going to be more. If you got a school that can hold 5,000, if let's say Jackson State holds 10,000, right, or 8,000 students, or however many, like Alabama does that in its sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't compare the two. What are you talking about?
Well, I was just trying to you know, answer a question that I just saw in the message boards. But yeah, you're right about that. As far as facilities go, the ceiling as far as facilities go is Alabama State, Prairie View, and Tennessee State. If we can, if Jackson State and the rest of the SWAC can just get on board with what you know they have, then it'll be better. And then bringing in other LCS schools like James Madison and other North Dakota states and stuff like that. To come down here to the SWAC and play, that'll also bring more notoriety. And also, it really needs to be. I personally want Jackson State to play Ole Miss in the next couple years, because I know that Lane Kiffin and Deion Sanders, that'll be box office right there. Like, that's what everybody should be pushing for in the state of Mississippi. We, as far as the people that I know that I went to school with, we want to see that. Mm-hmm. We want to see Jackson State come to the vault and play. We want to see the whatever you call the band, the boom box or whatever. We want to see that, man, because we know that that'll be good for just the culture at both schools. And I actually like what Deion is doing. I want everything to just keep going and keep at the pace that it's going, because it's moving very fast. And it was very exciting to see Alcorn and North Carolina Central play last night. That ball exposed to HBCU, and we just got to just keep it going. We got to support each other and support HBCU sports period, not just football.
That's true. That's true. Appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, for sure.
All right, man. Blue in here. Blue, you in here trying to start trouble, my guy. You in here trying to start trouble, Blue. That's crazy. That's funny. Hey, but listen, I'm about to get up out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys. We've had multiple shows today, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in and chatting with me and sticking around. But I'm about to get up out of here. Hey, listen, Monday morning, OVC week is going down. Don't forget Wild Out Wednesday on Wednesday. Of course, Trash Talking, 8 o'clock. I'm going to drop the flyer. If you're in here and you're not in the SWAC Sports Network Facebook group, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Okay, I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you're not in the SWAC Sports Network Facebook group, I don't know what you're doing with your life, for real. The rest of them groups, I can't speak for them. You know, Roughing the SWAC is dope, but you know, the SWAC Sports Central, yeah, they're a little too sensitive for me. You know what I'm saying? They kick your boy out. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you want to be in a group that ain't all in your mentions, all in your DMs, all in their feelings, come over to the SWAC Sports Network, baby. We get it done. All right, so listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.